All right, welcome back to my high school football championship series for college football 26. Quick reminder that all 8 of these teams being featured in this series are available for download and use in your college football 26 video game. Simply search for my username down there at the bottom, Dreadwin94, and you can import any one of these teams or all of them if you wish into your college football 26 video game and play them in dynasty mode and see how far you can take them. Just remember to search for the username search box and not the keyword search box. All right, so we are in week 4 and we just finished game 3 of week 4. An exciting week of football so far. All 3 games have come down to one score as the deciding factor. So very close games. We've already had an upset happen. Yeah, really exciting games. Hopefully this trend will continue. We've got one more game on the docket. We're looking at HL Bourgeois visiting Ellender. So the Braves versus the Patriots. Let's go ahead and pull up my gameplay screen. And here's the matchup that we're looking at. So once again, we're expecting Ellender to win this game. They are definitely favored, but you know what? Again, we've had an upset this week already. So will we have 2 upsets? Let's find out. So once more, we have all of these teams feature different uniform options, and as we go through the season, we're going to rotate through those different uniform options. So we've seen some of those alternate uniforms already. Ellender, we've seen in some alternate uniforms. I think last week they were in one of their alternate uniforms. This week they're going to be in their default home uniform. So that's what this looks like. I believe they had their retro home last week in their matchup against Terrebonne, but this is their default home uniform. So that's what that's going to look like. And then HL Bourgeois will be in one of their alternate away uniforms. So we got white jerseys with the kind of gray silver pants, and then the alternate logo there on the helmet for the HL Bourgeois Braves. All right, let's get to this matchup. We are going down to just outside of Houma, Louisiana, because Ellender shares a stadium with South Terrebonne, which is located in Berg, Louisiana, just outside of Houma. So, despite being from Houma, Louisiana, Ellender has to play their home games in the South Terrebonne Stadium. So, we're going down to Berg, Louisiana for this matchup between the HO Bourgeois Braves and the Ellender Memorial High School Patriots. We've got clear skies, and it's a night game because we're going on a Friday night in the Friday night lights, under the Friday night lights, excuse me. All right, let's see how this one matches up. And of course, thanks to the magic of video game, we're going to see Ellender field markings on the field, so it will look like Ellender Stadium. But in reality, they are, as you can see down here, they are going to be at the swamp at South Terrebonne. So I'm going to kick it over to the booth now, and we're going to see how this one shakes out. I'll catch you guys on the other side of this one.
Kicker has everything lined up and about set to get this one underway. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. As we take a quick look at the impact players for today's game, what players did you guys look to for motivation to make an impact during your playing days, Jesse?
Well, it was the guys we relied on each and every week. We came into the season expecting these types of guys to be our biggest weapons, and every week those were the guys that had to deliver for us in order to have success.
And it's just fun to have those guys that are consistent. Like, they lead by example, then they start to learn their voice and lead the team. But every week, guys that you can count on. They punch the clock, and they're hard workers. The inside handoff. Getting that push. A pickup of 4 out to the 26. They're going to keep this drive going. They'll have to make a play on 3rd and long from the 26. He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline. Oh, right through his hands. They came out attacking, wanted to impose their will, and they missed a big chance on that one. They he'll show you some flashes of why you should trust him, Reese. But here's the thing. This is not a guy that we're saying, go with him. That's not where he's at right now in his career. Jesse, he's a guy that needs the others. That they got to help him out. They got to play on schedule, not make those mistakes, and guys really play well around him.
Yeah, David, the one thing quarterbacks don't want to be referred to as is a game manager, but that...
Oh, he's got some space. Big play for this offense as they get it to the 32.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And Jesse, now their head's spinning just a little bit. Give up a big chunk play, and it's right back at them. They'll snap this one from the 32. It's first down. Looking for a crease. It's Adams. Out, and another broken tackle. Takes it into the end zone for a touchdown.
You become a really good football coach when you got guys like that you can hand it to. Look at him, break tackles and shows you the speed to run away from the defense. Jesse, he is an absolute nightmare.
That's a great point, David. You don't have to scheme this guy up perfectly, which means you don't have to have everybody accounted for blocking because he'll make them miss or he'll break tackles. And then you're right. Once you get into the open field, it's not just physical running, but how about the ability to hit the Jets and take it the distance?
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the PAT makes it 7-0. Quick strike offense on that three-play scoring drive. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he takes this from inside the 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. And the offense takes over to dip into its bag of ball plays. He'll pull it on the read. Got the first down and still on his feet. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks. Perfect play call for that big gain to open the drive. Now here they come on 1st and 10. Use the play fake. Now to throw. It's complete to the left. Caught, and he's close to a first down on the nice pickup there. Now here on 2nd down, see if they keep tossing it around. Back to pass. Makes the grab. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. They think they can impose their will here with the run to the right. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. They'll run this play from the pistol. The give to the lone running back. Stop just inside the 30 at the 29. It's a 10-yard pickup and a first down. The give out of the gun. Big pickup on the ground here to keep this drive moving and give them the first down. On the doorstep of cashing it in for the offense. They'll dial up the run on 1st and goal. He pushes it forward all the way to the 2-yard line. And after that strong play on 1st down, they're right on the cusp of a score. 2nd and goal. On the option. And he never had a chance to get the pitch off on the option as he's tackled in the backfield. And now after getting knocked back, they'll try it again, this time from the 5 on 3rd and goal. That's a fly. Almost intercepted in the end zone, and what a red zone stop that would have been. It'll be 4th down. And they'll send out the field goal unit. first snap of this drive will come from their own 32. Scanning the field, it's Sims. And the throw down the gut falls to the grass. Oh, will they dial up on second and a long way to go? They'll throw again after the incompletion. Got it in the middle, it's Johnson. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down mark. On third and long, try to convert through the air. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball on the ground. Fourth down coming up. The kick is on its way. Fair catch called for and made around the 20-yard line. So, guys, we'll see this offense again. The running back has it. Keeps it moving for a 3-yard gain to the 24. After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. The play action fake. Quickly to the tight end. That one can really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. How about these two running games so far? Dominance on the ground as we look at the first quarter stats. They are lined up and ready to go and get things started here in the second. So after the break, they'll go back to work. The give to the back. Not much working there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Tried to pound it on first down. Now back to the line. Back to pass on 2nd down. Just too much mustard on that one. Can't miss the target that badly. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Lofts one high and deep. Snags it inside the 20. Just what they were looking for. A huge explosive play, and they're inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. Finally, this offense starting to shake the cobwebs and get things moving. It's 1st and 10. Running back searching for a hole. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Quickly complete. They get it down to the 7 on that pass play, in prime position for a score. Tight quarters deep in the red zone, but they can pick up a first down without scoring. 3rd down. Didn't have much of a choice, just had to throw that one away. It'll be 4th down. And for the 2nd time tonight, they'll try out the field goal kicker. Absolutely perfect. That brings them to within 1.
And that's not the way they wanted to end the drive, but nice job being ready and your field goal kicker coming through and putting 3 points on the board.
After putting up a 3-spot, the kickoff unit set to go. And he's going to bring it out of the end zone. And the returner is stopped. Here comes the offense onto the field again. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Right down the middle. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. 2nd down coming. High the chains now on 2nd and long. Give to the running back. Solid gain to get him out close to the 20. Pick up a 5 to the 19. In just inside their own 20. They need to convert on 3rd and short. To throw, it's Sims. Oh, they're after him. Now improvising. Keeps it and gets past the chains. And he scoots his way to the first down and then slides to avoid the hit.
On the 3rd play of the drive, 3rd down, it's the scrambling ability of this quarterback that goes and picks up the first down. He was so calm back there. He never got flustered. Nobody open, no problem. If you give this guy 1 yard to run, he's going to tuck it and take off, and that's exactly what happened there.
force it. I don't force it into tight windows if it's not there. He throws it, unfortunately, gets the interception. Bad decision by the QB there.
They take over late in the half, enough time to put together a drive. Looking downfield on first down. Flips it out to the back. Breaks into the open. He stopped just a chain link or two away from the first down and sets them up beautifully here. Looking for a chunk play on second and short. And it'll be incomplete. This defense is physical in pass D. After the incompletion on second down, it's
mindset if you're on offense. Fourth quarter, you've got a huge lead. Obviously, you're going to run the football, but just be aware of the clock. You don't want to snap it too quickly. You're probably just doing safe runs inside the tackles like you saw right there. You just got to execute. You got to be aware, but you've got this game in hand so long as you don't turn it over.
Fires to the big fella. They'll make the stop about 3 yards short of the first down. He'll do it himself. Will not get there. A fourth down stop. Off play action on first down. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. They'll try to run. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's 3rd and long. Dropping back, it's Sims. Quickly to the flat, the wide receiver screen. He's going to come up about 5 yards short of the line to gain. On 4th down, looking for the completion. It's picked off and another empty drive. Nice pickup on the return, but more important, they got the takeaway and now they're in business.
And that's a really good job by the defense, understanding the situation of football. It's 4th down. It's late in the game. You got a multi-possession lead. Take away all the deep stuff. Make them force the football into coverage. They do, and they stamp this game.
Great place to start for this offense. One running back in the backfield, and he has it. Knocked down behind the line. Boy, he powered through one tackler, but there were more there to greet him. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Quick completion to the right. Oh, he's got some speed. They get him corralled, but not until he's in the red zone. They'll mark it at the 14.
There are a lot of offensive coordinators out there. A similar situation with a lead like this. They'd definitely be running the ball at this point. They'd probably take their starting quarterback out of the game potentially, but not this unit. They are still staying aggressive. They're still taking shots. They're just trying to light up the scoreboard.
They'll keep it on the ground. They want this clock to move. He's tackled right at the 10-yard line, and they're trying to cash in on this drive. On the run, it's Peyton. He's brought down at the 7-yard line, and they are threatening to take it in. Not a lot of ground to cover and not much to defend. A big 3rd down in the red zone. He wants it all. And he was trying to pay off this red zone opportunity, but it's incomplete. A stat hog would kick a field goal here. And this one is perfect. And that will extend their lead even further. That lead just keeps getting fatter, and this kickoff team doing a little running. And he'll bring it back. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. This drive will start from the 19-yard line. Back to pass, it's Sims. Here's a throw downfield late. A sensational grab down the field there as they try to at least put a positive spin on the end of this game. Wants to go up top on first down. He's not afraid to go deep. And the pass goes incomplete, looking to make things look a little tighter on the scoreboard, but that's going to do it.
Well, that does it for our final game in week 4. And HL Bourgeois, unfortunately for them, drops yet another game, this time to crosstown rivals Ellender. Ellender was pretty much in control of this game for most of the game. HL came out strong in the opening quarter there on the opening drive. They were able to get the ball in the end zone, but unfortunately they just weren't able to sustain that. And Ellender slowly took back control of the momentum, and by the second half it was all Ellender. So Justin Billiot with a good game today. Heck of a passing game. 17 of 35, 332 yards passing, 48% completion percentage. Completion percentage could have been better, but he went for a lot of deep passes there. 2 touchdowns, no picks on that one. Rushing, Drake SJ had a strong first half, and then they kind of laid off of him there in the second half a little bit. 16 carries for 72 yards. Keep waiting for a breakout performance from him. It looked like he was going to have one here in this game. He had some really good runs there early on. Justin Billiot, a couple clutch runs on his own. And then let's see, Jamal Payton came in for a couple of carries to relieve SJ, and Chris Morgan had one run as well. Receiving, someone forgot to tell HL to cover number 85. Oh my. Central Aldridge had a heck of a performance. 6 catches for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns. He could have had another one there in the fourth quarter when Billiot overthrew him. He was wide open for that one too. I don't know how they missed the memo on that, but yeah, cover 85 next time. Here's the other receivers and their numbers. They all, did a good job, but obviously this was the player of the game. Quick look at the blocking stats, and then we'll move on to the defensive stats. Quick reminder that I just cannot keep track of these stats in game because of that way we have to do these games. Everything is in play now mode, so if you want to keep track of the stats, I like to run through them at the end of each game for anyone who wants to pause the screen, and you can write everything down at home if that's how you want to do it. So here are the defensive stats real quick. Ellender's defense came up with 2 big turnovers, had a pair of interceptions with one of them right here. Mr. Rene Hebert, number 31, had 1 interception. And then the second interception came from Raheem Howard there. This was later in the game when they had that one. Kicking stats real quick. 5 for 5 on the field goals. Wow, a lot of field goals in this game. It didn't look like it on the scoreboard because they went for 2 for one of those touchdowns, but um, kind of Ellender kind of digging the needle in there at the end of the fourth quarter with another field goal instead of just kneeling the ball. And here is the punting stats. I'm not surprised with, again, this was a bit of a crosstown rivalry here between these two teams. As I said, most of these teams don't like each other. Rough day for Chris Sims. Only 10 completions out of 25 attempts. Uh, Again, no touchdowns and had those two interceptions. So not a good day for him. Rushing the ball. Wow. You know what? Leslie Adams had some good runs, and they seems like they, I guess they kind of had to get away from him there towards the end. But earlier in the game, it seems like they laid off of him a little too quickly. 6 carries for 56 yards, and he had the one touchdown there in the first quarter. And here again, sack yardage will affect those rushing yards for the quarterback. Here are the receiving. Not really a lot to look at here. 2 catches for 77 yards here. He had a big catch there at one point. 50-yard reception. Other than that, not a whole lot to look at. Here's a blocking, and then we'll look at the defensive stats. And mostly just tackles here. I don't believe they had any turnovers. I don't remember them getting a turnover. Doesn't look like it. All right, so those are the defensive stats. Roll back up in case you missed something. And then we'll go to kicking and punting, and we're going to wrap this one up, guys. No field goal attempts there. Here are the punting stats. And that will do it. So we had 3 of our 4 games were very, very close, but this one was kind of predictable. Ended the way we all thought it would. Ellender just kind of rolled away with it. Again, HL came out strong to begin with, but Ellender was just too much for them. So that's how it ended up. That's how it goes sometimes. All right. That'll do it for this game. That does it for week 4. Let me hit my pause screen, and then I'll be right back with just a quick wrap up, and we'll call it a night. Hang on. I'll be right back.